Good day, good day. Welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your humble host, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today? You see that right there? That is something that black men should have been doing a long time ago. Now, we tried this back in the 60s and 70s with the formulation of the Black Panther movement. And one of the most fearful things white society is afraid of is black community come together as one. They have used all kind of tactics to divide and conquer us, to separate us, to minimize us. They use tactics such as, and I'm going to say something that's going to tick some of you off, using abortion to decrease the rate of black society. Now, I do have to let you know something that you probably don't know, and I know some of you pro-choice people is going to be upset. Okay. Because I'm pro-life and pro-choice. I believe you make the choice, but me personally, I believe in the sanctity of life. I don't want, if you going to sit there and, do the deal, do the deal. You know what I mean? But oftentimes these tactics are used to destroy a race. The whole purpose of Margaret Sanger, who happened to be a hero of Hillary Clinton and a lot of Democrats, she believed in eugenics. And one of the eugenic tactics were abortions. So she used Planned Parenthood originally was to be used to minimize the black growth in the community because we were growing in rapid rates. Now, when I say black growth, I mean Native African Americans that descended from slavery. Our numbers have begun to multiply, duplicate, and they had to find some kind of way to stop that, because one of the things white society don't want to have, and shout out to my white brothers who understand this, is some of them are fearful of the black community equaling them 100% in all areas, including numbers in population, but also when it comes to wealth and things like that. Let me get this image off here and let you see me. Give me a moment. So we're going to talk about this today, because when we have a society that's oftentimes trying to put the boot on the black race, trying to keep them at bay, trying to keep them from growing and expanding in every area of life, they're going to come out of woodworks to do anything. Oftentimes we get threatened by white supremacists or so-called white supremacists, and they like to show their strength in numbers. So they'll have their rallies where they go around with their guns. They'll have different marches, different demonstrations. And it's high time that black people do the same thing. And recently, a group of black men decided to, and this not just black men, but black women, decided to come together and show their force of demonstration. And to me, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when black society come together and show their unity. Now, a group of mostly black protesters gathered at Stone Mountain Park in Georgia, which is known as the home of the KKK, or the birth of the KKK, on Saturday with guns, demanding a Confederate monument within it be removed while challenging white nationalists in the areas to come out. The group identified themselves as the Not Blanking Around Coalition. They showed up with more than 100 armed protesters dressed in all black, according to 11 Alive. So here we got black gun owners showing their strength, standing on their rights to bear arms, which is our constitutional rights too, showing that we can bear arms just like you. And the only way you can really deal with white supremacy is when you mirror and match them. That's why they don't want you to mirror and match them. That's why they call it white supremacy, because they have to feel like they're supreme. So they're going to try to show their strength with monuments, in money and power, in police force, you name it. But recently, these things happen, and I'm just going to let you see a little clip of some of the things that recently happened.
Watch the wood. Watch them good. Watch it now. Never go back. Keep it tight. Keep it tight.
Now, seeing something like that is, I don't want to ever come to that where we have to show our strength and our power with guns. But most people in society, that's how they do it. They show their dominance with strength, power, and firepower. Not just mental power. Now, you wonder why this isn't on news. Now, one of these clips I got from MSNBC or NBC with no commentary. I guess they was shocked that something like this happened. See, they feared these things happening back with Huey P. Newton and all the Black Panthers. They had to verse themselves heavily in the law to show so they can stand up and say, I have a right to bear arms. I have the right to protect my community, just like you have a right to protect your community. And that is essential in the Black community. We as Black men need to come together and form a coalition to protect our community, because there are some people who don't mind coming in and ravishing our community. They don't mind doing it in a badge at that, and they don't mind putting on a mask too, just like those brothers was walking with a mask on. You got police departments. Before the COVID-19 situation came, they would come out in heavily armed military gear in the Black neighborhood with masks on, with something covering their badge, and brutalizing our people. So this is good to have something like this where we can have somebody in our community defend us, because the police are not doing as much as they should. Not saying they don't, because their job is to protect and serve. And we need to get rid of that word police officer, and we need to replace it with law enforcement. Because if you're not here to enforce the law, go somewhere else. This is huge. We need more of this going on in the Black community. The right to bear arms. We need to let people know, no matter where you come from, that we will protect our community. And we're not just going to do it with marching and peaceful protests and all that stuff. No, you step across the wrong line, we're going to buck up against you. All we ask is that you don't step across the line. Respect our space. 6 feet. Don't roll on us like that. Don't you dare think we're a weak community. Don't you dare think that we lack the ability to defend our kids, our family on our own. If you're not going to do it, we going to do it. Now, unfortunately, some states like New York, they make it hard for people like me to obtain license. Now, I'm actually going through some firearm classes to make sure I'm able to carry here in New York. But they make it difficult. And this is supposed to be a Democratic state. But the Democrats, you know, not for nothing, they are on this thing where they want to put laws on firearms. And I get it, because I live in New York. What I look like with a certain military grade machine gun? What do I look like that? I'm not. And what excuse do I have to collect those things? Now, my brother Reggie, lives in South Carolina. Shout out to you, Reg. I love him, and he loves his guns. And he's a Black brother. He's a military person. He loves his guns. He collects them. And I admire that. And I want him to do that, because he should be able to do that. If anybody else could collect military grade weapons, without punity, without getting in trouble, so should black people. That's our rights as American citizens too. So as long as you got these laws out here that allow white people in different aspects of society to heavily arm themselves and have 100 machine guns in their basement and another 100 machine guns in the attic and 10 guns in the living room with a lock on it, if you can do that, we can do that. We should be able to do that. See, I'm all about 100% equality, not 99.9%, but 100%. If you got it, we should have it too. See, that takes away the mentality of white supremacy. Because when we're equal and you're equal, you're not supreme. We're equal. And understand this, folks. Black men, black women don't want to go to these measures. We've been forced to go to this measure. Now, one of the quickest ways to get gun laws dealt with and changed is make sure 1 million black men have guns to protect their families. Now, here's the ticket. To protect their community and protect their family, not to go in and rob and kill and steal and shoot up people. No, that's not the purpose of the Second Amendment. That's not the purpose of our rights to bear arms. The purpose of our right to bear arms is to protect our community, protect our people if attacked. Not to attack, if attacked. So I have no problem. Let me let you see some more of this stuff. Give me a moment. You got women. You got men. To see the sisters out there bearing arms.
Black power. Black love, black love.
Now, I have no problem with us saying black power and black love, because we need to show our strength. We need to show our power. Look, if you're white, if you're Asian, I don't mind you saying white power and white love. You're supposed to love your community. But when you get to the point where you're going to act like you're better than the next community, I expect black people to love black people. I am for a black first movement. I'm a little above Black Lives Matter, because Black Lives Matter also include other stuff in it. No, I'm for black first and black only. I'm like black exclusive. We got exclusive things that we need done in our community, and the government owes us for it. We're not asking for a handout. We're not begging. You owe us. You owe us for the 200, 300, 400 years of oppression that you done to our family members, and you made tons of money on top of us, and we don't get to share in the wealth. So we're demanding reparations. I'm all for it. But look, listen to me. If you want to yell white power, I don't mind you saying that, because we're going to yell black power, long as we don't act like we're better than each other. Long as we don't go to the extreme where, I'm better than you. I have more than you. You should look up to me. You should look down. I mean, there was time we couldn't even look at you in the eye. There was time when we had to look our head down. You talking about Karens. Nah, things changed. We looking at you dead in your freaking eye. Things have changed. And change ain't changed till you change things. And the only way you're going to change things is when the black community come together as one, just like any other community. Don't think we're trying to separate ourselves. It's just that we should be one first, and then we reach out to other people. When we always came together as a community, we always left it open where other people can come in and do business with us. We didn't stop you from dating our black women, white men. We didn't stop white women from dating black men. We never close ourselves up to you. We've always been open. But now we're just going to have to make some adjustments, because we're going to have to protect our community, because obviously the police department is not doing it, and we're not looking for the government to do it, and we're not looking for the army to do it either. We're going to have to do it ourselves. We're going to have to go back to building our own businesses. We're going to have to go back to growing our own crops. We're going to have to go back to heavily protecting our communities. We're going to have to go back to that. I'm a segregationist, and I am a separatist. And I am a non-segregationalist. I believe you should have your own community and let other people come to your community and do business with you, just like we do with Chinatown, just like we do with Little Italy, just like we do with Little Haiti, whatever. But the bottom line is this: it is high time that we defend ourselves and let people know that you ain't gonna push us around, Doc. You just not gonna do it. I want you to listen to this brother who made a speech in the middle of all this.
Threat, counter threat. Because threats don't mean shit to us. Y'all been threatening us since Birmingham. I ain't seen shit. When it's July the 4th. And all you scary ass Negroes that pass that shit around. Look at what the fuck you did. You made blacks come out. I don't see no white militia. So to the boogie boys, the 3%ers, and all the rest of you scared ass rednecks. We here. Where the fuck you at? We in your house. Let's go. NFAC, motherfucker. NFAC.
So there you go. The brother said what he said. See, the whole thing, the brother said, look, we're out here. I don't care if you Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation. I don't care if you the Boogie Boys, whatever they're going to, the Boogaloo Boys or whatever. I don't care who you are. You're not going to stop us. And we strap just like you strap. Now, we don't want to hurt nobody. We just out here telling you that these things coming down, whether you like it or not. Don't get in the middle of it. It's just objects. It's your own personal idolatry. Your worship to white supremacy. That's all this is. And we're saying it's time for the markers of white supremacy to come down. We're going to give you an opportunity to bring it down. Don't challenge us. But if you do challenge us, we out here. We got guns. We in deep numbers too. You come in, you're all white. We come in all black. I'm telling you, man, things have changed in America. We're not going back, as that brother said earlier. We're not going back. We're moving forward. And it's time for the markers of racism to come down because we don't want to be reminded of your dominancy over us. We're trying to do our best to erase it and move on, but you want us to continue to look at that every day, yet still act like nothing happened and still accept you just the way you are. And I know you personally may not have had nothing to do with it, but your ancestors have, and a lot of you have become filthy rich as a result of your ancestors. A lot of you didn't become filthy rich because your ancestors plundered and messed up the money that you should have in wealth. It's time for the markers of racism coming down. And I am all for black women learning how to shoot, black kids learning how to shoot, black men learning how to shoot for your own protection. White people do it to their kids. I'm from the deep South. I'm from Florida. I grew up with my white redneck friends. I had white redneck friends. Yes, I did. I grew up with white redneck friends. I go to their house and their dad teaching them how to farm. Their dad teaching them how to hunt. Their dad teaching them how to defend themselves. But yet in my community, when nobody doing that. Nobody. And we wonder why we always in a position where we can't defend ourselves. Well, that is changing now because you're going to have more gun clubs and all this is legal. All of this is part of our constitutional right. Most of these guys are part of the NRA. You think the NRA is racist? There may be some racists in the NRA, but they're not stopping black men from getting guns. I can go to a gun show and purchase a gun just like any other white person. My brother, who is a Army Master Sergeant, he loves his gun. He got so many freaking guns, it's ridiculous. Now, most black people don't need AR-15s and all that kind of stuff, and most white people don't need that. But the reason they got it is because they feel the government may come do something to them, or they fear other people may do something to them. Well, we should be the same way. We should be protected just like they are. Now, again, black people, we are one of the most loving, most understanding, most forgiving races in the world, especially Native American blacks, those who were brought over from slavery, who really didn't understand our culture in Africa. So we end up learning the culture of a white racist society that we had to grow up 300-400 years under. We're still loving. We're still forgiving. Even when we end up being freed and we started building our communities, we invited white society to come do business. We never tried to be racist to them. We tried to be friend. We never said, you black man, you can't be with that white woman, and white woman, you can't be with that black man, or vice versa. We never said that. We never pushed racism, and we never really pushed black supremacy. And white supremacy get jealous because number one thing they don't want is they don't want black growth. They don't want black growth in every area, and they definitely don't want black overgrowth, meaning black people are overgrowing them in certain areas. Right now, we got a lot of segments of society that are freaking out because they feel that they're going to be the minority. And eventually, they're going to be the minority because people of all color is going to overlap white. And if it wasn't for certain things that was done at the beginning of the 20th century, blacks probably would override whites right now. They had to find some kind of way to kill us off, either using our own people against us to lie to us and con and scheme us through different experience, through different tactics and things like that. Whatever they could use to minimize the black growth, they used it. So here we are today. Most black people don't want no trouble. But if you're going to bring trouble, they're willing to, they ready for it, according to this brother, ready. Don't want no trouble. Take down this marker. I know you've been enjoying it for all these years, but it's time to erase that sucker and put something better up there or take it down. And we're out here. We're out here. If you want to challenge us, I'm letting you know, they're saying, I'm letting you know, we're ready for the challenge. We're willing to die to get these white markers off, to tear down these white symbolism of supremacy. We're willing to die for it. But either way, they're coming down. And of course, Trump going to tell his speech, well, they're not coming down, but that's the white supremacist in Trump. And Joe Biden will be the same way because that's the white supremacist in him. But yeah, guys, you're going to start seeing more black militias come together, and they ain't going to be playing. They're going to be teaching, just like the Black Panther, they're going to be educating. They're going to be providing substance to our people. They're going to be teaching self-defense. They're going to be teaching governmental law. They're going to be teaching this to the next generation. They're teaching it to our black men, our black women, our black kids, and this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Because it's about time we start showing people that we're not going to lay down and be your freaking rug. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report, man. Don't get frightened, white America, when you see black men come together in large groups with guns, because we are not fearing you when you come together in large groups and guns. So why you fear? We figure that's your amendment. That's your right to do that. And it is. It's ours too. So don't hate on the player. Don't hate on the player. Just hate the game.